We are almost at Hatch. Can you see that little sign? That's how you know hipsters built this.
Wow.
What would you call that sign?
I don't know.
It's not Quail's Gate. Ooh. Look at this, look at this. Woo! 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 I love this. You just like wake up on a Saturday and the first thing you do is you go and drink wine.
Only one.
That just makes me classy.
We're just gonna.
There's only one type of wine here?
There's only one tour here.
Oh, I was like, what? One type? Oh my god, look how beautiful this is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get on up to this beach. Look how beautiful it is. Okay, well I mean like right now it's just a bunch of like sand and dirt. But I can feel the hipster vibes coming through. Look at that, look at that. Hatch, like literally this man has no face. He's a bird. No face, an egg. I can see the hipsters. They've all got the hats on like me. Oh my god. What's going on here? Entrance. Should we have worn a flower crown?
I've never been here in the summer.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Hello. I already love it here. They said we could sit and do a wine tasting while sitting. That's everything.
I'm too short for this table.
And you are.
I'm wearing platforms.
I was like, I thought I was.
Is it okay if we film?
Yeah, you do the thing. I figured you were gonna ask that. I already kind of resigned myself to it.
That's how you've taken us outside. Okay, fine. Let me.
Okay, I'm.
Are you one of the people, or are you just a long-term employee?
I'm the Prince of Tides as far as like the Hatch title goes, which equates to I think being the director of hospitality is what my actual job is.
Oh, okay.
So I run this whole side of things.
Cool, that's awesome.
As far as experience goes, and then we've got all the other projects that we're going to be opening up in the next little while. So I'll kind of run the hospitality front.
I live here, so I'm excited to find out what's happening.
Cool. I will tell you all the things. Welcome to Hatch. Do some booze, yeah?
Thank you. Oh, I love the attitude here.
Drink some booze.
Guys, this is where all the cool kids come.
Also, seriously, I've never felt so short in my whole life.
Well, that's probably why I wore platforms.
No, but it's like my upper body's not tall enough.
Just like my boobs just like lean on the table.
Like I feel like
So on a collective level, really what the Hatch is an incubator or diving board for a whole bunch of different ideas and concepts. Like essentially, the Hatch isn't even really a brand, the Hatch is an idea, and the idea is that we kind of built this place as this kind of launching point diving board or incubator for a whole plethora of different ideas and concepts. Essentially we built the Hatch so that we could create these ideas and they would live here, and as they build momentum and kind of cachet in and unto themselves, they can break off and become their own physical entity. So like the Hatch truly is an incubator. It is kind of the idea. Like we make about 50 different wines, and then everything is subdivided into these different brands and families. The whole idea is single vineyard and small lot winemaking. So the way that kind of shakes out on an actual physical level is we have just under 20 acres of vineyard space here. Here we grow Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, and Gamay mostly. And then outside of this, there's about 24 different vineyards, or like 106 additional acres that we pick and pull from north to south. The Okanagan is so like varied in these little microcosms of topography, soil structure, and climate. All of these things that like at a scratch may seem relatively minute in their impact, but actually will wildly change the shape and expression of the way the grapes grow, or the way that the wines that grow from the vineyard eventually express themselves. So, and we make all these different wines, and they're divided into different brands and expressions. I'll take you guys on a ride of the things that I think are cool. This is the king or queen, you know, gender equality and all that jazz, of my favorite brand or series, which is the Hobo series. The whole idea with the Hobos is a series of wines designed to highlight and focus on the hobos and underdogs and vagrants and vagabonds and misunderstood and underappreciated grapes in the world of wine. And this bit of obscurity is the life cycle of a hobo, Mueller-Thurgau. So Mueller-Thurgau is something that at a time was heavily planted in the valley because it makes a lot of sense in a cool climate, but by like 1980, based on an overarching lack of consumer cachet, like nobody has any clue what Mueller is. It was mostly replaced with other things. So genetically, it's a hybrid of Madeleine Royale and Riesling are the parent grapes, and it kind of just drinks light, good dry Riesling. It's a bit oily, high acid, like racy, mouth-watering, built for all things, drenched in butter, fried and salty, and is yeah, if you don't like those things, who hurt you? Where did it all go wrong, right? And it's fueled by this painting that is Life Cycle of a Hobo by Paul Morstad, who's the artistic visionary behind pretty much all the label artwork, etc. As often as possible, use original art like this, and if it's not an original piece, they're manipulations or illustrations that we commissioned from Paul. That's the Life Cycle of a Hobo. That's where we start, but she ain't over.
Okay, perfect. Oh my god, I love this idea. It's got like a crispness to it. Kind of soft, reminds me kind of a Chardonnay.
That's okay, like I said, polarizing, and if
you get the buttery, I get the buttery.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, we're both not on here. I'll move it first. I'll move it, okay.
This has always been the proverbial
Oh, you just want to keep me. So I'm finding it's a little bit of a crisp, got some nice citruses in it. It's definitely buttery, like almost like movie theater popcorn. I love movie theater popcorn. What's that smell? Is it like pears? No. Peaches? No. I don't know. It's really good. In wine, just make up things you smell, and you will sound like you belong. Okay, that's the whole gist of it. You could say cat urine, and they'll be like, I taste nuts of that.
And it's got a cigar smoking dinosaur on the label, so like really, what more do you need from
That was nice. That was really nice.
It was an asteroid that
she loves it enough, she's taking a freaking photo.
I just like labels.
I just like labels.
Not labels on people, just labels on wine. It's really neat.
Look at this artwork. Like, this is so cool, the life cycle of a hobo.
They probably have the best labels that I can think of in Enoteca, actually. Because they're all different.
Yes, the art installation on the lawn there. It's also part of one of the more formative concepts behind the way that we operate. So if you go inside, behind the bar, there's a sign that reads Enoteca. Enoteca is the Italian word for winery or wine bar, and the whole idea behind Enoteca is like a revolving door of different brands, styles, and expressions, all with a regional focus. But usually be home to a bunch of different producers from within an area, but in our case, we've kind of adopted that philosophy as one sole creator and curator of these varying wines from the different pockets of the valley. And one of the most important things in a good Enoteca or wine bar should, underline the should, be a house wine. But New World or North America, we all kind of heavily associate house wine with just being cheap, like whatever the lowest price point is in a wine list or whatever they sling at you from a box during happy hour. But more traditionally speaking, house wine should be genuinely, legitimately reflective of the house or the producer. So that's what this is for us. It's wine made the way that we want to drink wine. It's the house wine from the home farm. So it comes from right here, 85% Pinot Blanc, 15% Viognier, and it's lush, it's fruit concentrated, undeniably well suited to Cheerios grilled cheese, drink it in the shower. You can do anything with a bottle of Bianco. There's nothing finer than the simultaneous occurrence of cleanliness and intoxication, you know. Go in to get good and clean, come out dirty and drunk. It's a majestic idea. And
You're very good at this.
Thank you. And that is the enigmatic egghead that is Bianco.
Sweet.
And it's under 20 bones, which is great because it's best enjoyed in multiples.
Is it the same guy who did this?
It's all Paul Morstad.
It's all this. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
It's incredible. Okay, cheers. Even though I'm just on camera.
Glass made it in.
Around this 2014 Blacksmith Vineyards Monarchs.
That's smooth. It's nice and smooth. Like you could, when he said you could drink this in multiples, you could drink this in multiples.
I'm gonna make you say that from mine going into romance.
Oh my god.
What were you saying?
When they said you could drink this in multiples, you can drink this in multiples. It's smooth.
Okay, sip it again. Take a couple still pics. I'm directly across from you, so I can take those easily. I'll send them.
That was nice. I love how we got the grape This is this bottle. I wonder if they sell this in Ontario.
Beyonce. I know we have it in our liquor stores here at the city.
It's really, really nice.
What's the back say? I'm always curious. Oh, it's just their story. Drink now and then drink later.
He's like very good with words. He's a wordsmith.
I thrive on nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol. I don't
Just said, I drive on nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol. I think I want to marry him. You should have had a bad bitch. Na, 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 na. Kristina came up with an excellent idea. Kayla came up with an excellent idea. While we're sitting here, they've left a whole bottle open. Do you think they'll notice if we'll just like pour a little more of a taste? And we really needed to pick up on those fruity notes and that smoothness, that honey. Hi Hatch Wines. I promise I won't pay for it.
Tell us about the sparkling. It's 90% Pinot Blanc and 10% Pinot Noir from right here.
There's sparkling wine, there's sparkling wine.
All the way.
Your fave. Kayla loves sparkling.
I did, but I got the wrong sparkling from the wrong place, and then I had like slight meltdown in a vineyard, but like let's not acknowledge that.
And then later it was good again, so it's fine.
And we drank it all. We drank it all. It was amazing.
It paired very well with editing at 2 in the morning.
And Bumble.
That almost came out my nose.
Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't think I've ever seen this label before.
Yeah, totally different ball game altogether. So, Crown and Thieves is like a personal brand for us. It's a series of wines that's more heavily rooted in our influences, which like perhaps by nature of vibe and experience or aesthetic, the Hatch is a bit against the grain or kind of differentiates ourselves from the rest of the more formalized world of wine. But at the end of the day, there is a whole lot of reverence for wines of the old world, which is why this looks considerably more French, like kind of Chateauneuf-du-Pape, Côte-du-Rhône style. But it's designed to kind of speak to the duality or dichotomy between the way that we adore wine and the way that we kind of, I don't know, present wine, I guess. So tagline is the wine's made by scoundrels and sipped by kings and queens, so kind of speaks to that dichotomy between the two worlds. And essentially we strive for like pretty classic old world styles and expressions within Crown and Thieves, and then the idea is to kind of like crank the amp all the way to 11 as far as like pushing the boundaries of expression are concerned. So this is the 2016 Crown and Thieves Roussanne Viognier. So 60% Roussanne, 40% Viognier, fermented in steel, and then spends 9 months in 17 days, exactly 9 months and 17 days specifically, in older French oak. Yeah, absolutely. It is even affirmed on the back label.
Oh,
and,
labels don't lie. You know this.
The labels have never lied in the world, in the history of wine.
They're not allowed to.
No. It's none of it's a romance copy. It's all just the unadulterated truth, right? So 9 months and 17 days in the barrel. To me, this is designed to have some weight and texture, but 2016 by the nature of the vintage is a little bit cooler, so it's also got this great like tingly spine of acidity and balance of freshness. So to me, it's categorized as a red wine drinker's white wine in the sense that it's actually got substance and guts, which like if you are a red wine drinker, wines like this are crucial in the summer because obviously red wine is the least refreshing thing in the world on a hot day. Like if I'm ever anywhere during happy hour and you see somebody order a glass of red wine, it's like 40 degrees outside, it's like you're an animal, maybe a bit of a sociopath. Why are you doing that? What are you up to? It's like people who eat soup in the summer. Like unless it's gazpacho, what are you doing?
I know.
Dino, we totally just like pounded a bottle of red wine the other night.
Oh god, as long as the sun sets, you're fine. It's just in the middle of the afternoon, it's a bit of a masochistic ride. And that is the Roussanne Viognier. It comes from Stone's Throw Vineyard. It's got the weight and texture, a great balance of acidity.
Stone's Throw?
Stone's Throw is a vineyard, so it's right by Stone Boat. Like there's Stone Boat, the Pinot House. This is very close to that.
I'm thinking of Stone Creek? No, I think Stone's Throw.
Stone's Throw. It's on the lower Black Sage bench, like little dip in Northern Oliver.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think I've ever had anything like that.
So that is the Crown and Thieves.
Full body.
It is. It's got the guts and weight of power.
Like, I didn't expect that till you explained it, but
it's all good. That is the Roussanne.
It's really good.
right? It's smooth. It has notes of wine in it. Don't ever say that while wine tasting, you'll just sound like a moron. Crown and Thieves. Their branding is so clever that even if their wine sucked, you would still drink it out of respect for the story.
Riverstone is what I'm thinking of.
What kind of white wine is it? Like what kind of grapes we talking? Is a house wine? Is it Chardonnay? Like what? I felt like I just fell into his words and stopped listening. I was just like,
Yeah, that's why you stopped listening. Ask him when he comes back.
You can like taste the acidity, but it's not like sharp, like a Chardonnay.
No, it's like, it's better than a white.
That's exactly it. I
This thing that
agree.
you said about like a red wine drinkers, white wine is actually
And it's
so
not.
accurate.
It's still not crisp like a house wine
Smells
either.
better than most reds.
It smells creamy. Like what's that smell?
I don't know, I just really like it. Like, I really like a lot. Just getting a picture.
Run, Aaron, run! Scream, taller!
It's a Viognier, and I believe Viognier.
It was really nice. We should drink wine tonight.
I have to be up at like 5 a.m.
So we should drink at like 4.
I mean, it's 3:30.
Good thing we started already then. Good thing we started. How cool do I look?
So cool.
I want a grilled cheese now.
Weird, but it is the Hatch, so inevitably it is just getting a bit weirder. So this is the orange order. This is our orange wine, which if you are not familiar stylistically, orange wine is not made of oranges. No citrus fruit of Florida are included in the production of this beverage. Orange wine is when white grapes are fermented like red grapes. So white grapes fully macerated or fermented on the skins, which they're usually not, right? So it's white wines that actually have like phenolics and a bit of a tannic edge and some guts behind it. It's a category in and unto itself, right? Like it's not white, it's not pink, it's not red. Orange is
I've
orange.
never seen orange wine.
And in this case, I think this expression of wine is something that very much expresses ourselves in the sense that it's good, but it's a little weird, and we're really good at being a little bit weird. So the orange order speaks to that. It thrives in salt as far as culinary endeavors are concerned. Like when you don't want to cook and you just want to open a bag of chips for dinner, orange wine thrives at that. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why you said salt like that.
It's also one of the few wines that actually throws down as like really well with pickled vegetables. Like as far as a good charcuterie, like a good charcuterie board's concerned, one of the most difficult things to match wine with is always the pickled stuff on there. But orange wine, or in this case the orange order, is just strange enough that it can play that game. And in this case it's 70% Pinot Blanc, 20% Kerner, and the remaining balance is Chardonnay Muscat and Schoenberger, fermented over the course of 6 weeks on the skins and then 10 months in older French oak, just to again give it that edge, a little bit more weight and body behind it. In this case it's driven by a painting called Earl Grey Whale, in which the ocean that this whale is floating in is painted with a heavily steeped Earl Grey tea bag, and it kind of matched the pigmentation of the orange wine style-wise. So thusly is born the orange order, and yeah, it's polarizing. You're either going to be in or you're out. There's no real in between on this one.
Where do you go for the best charcuterie board here?
That is a tricky game to play. One of my favorite things in the world is to build a good charcuterie board. So usually if I want charcuterie, I just do it at home. But
we're just coming over for charcuterie later.
I haven't gone groceries in an extended period of time, so charcuterie is actually just wine at this particular juncture in
I might
time.
have some really old pickles.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just a minute, and yeah, so Salt and Brick usually does a really good job, like half and half, a good section of
This is almost
It is
sour.
weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is weird.
yeah.
But I don't hate it.
It's polarizing. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I feel like if I had saltiness with it, I could see.
The orange order.
Wine.
Yeah, food helps.
Thank you. It's sour, right?
I don't get sour. And that's because I like sour. Also, my tongue might be raw from salt vinegar chips and tortilla chips last night, so.
It's like sour, like a Sour Patch like Peach Kid, but not as good. And then I get like almost tastes a Pinot Noir in it.
It's definitely weird. That was a very good description. It's weird. But like I don't hate it. But I can see how it probably is a lot more toward the yes than the no when you have salty foods.
I think mine's more of a no.
I want to be like,
yes.
hi, can I get a tortilla chip? Just check out this one. Just kidding. I don't know. I'm undecided. I think with food,
I think it'd be great in sangria.
I think it would pull me toward a yes with salty things, like you were saying.
Like a fried chicken.
Now I just want chicken.
I want fried chicken and waffles.
We don't have. Crafty has that.
This place is like crazy busy. Then again, you did say it is a Saturday.
And it's West Side. It's West Side days.
They're all skinny white bitches. One out of the 20.
Colored man. I'm an old man.
Oh, sorry, we have 3 on the diversity. I feel like that's more of a.
And there's like Asians. Please don't put this in your video.
Oh no, I'm not going to. I would sound like.
I'm just saying, like there is. But you know what? I feel like the Hatch is a place where people who aren't skinny, white, pretentious,
I think you fit in here.
Dressed fancy people can fit in. Yeah, that's why people. They're like it's hip.
It's like it's a hip. It's like this is like an experience. Like the descriptions of the wine themselves are an experience.
Reminds me of Pitch.
Yes, just that really great vibe where you don't want to leave.
No, it's just like Katie was great at her job.
Yeah, that's true. It made a huge difference. Like I feel like I experienced the wines differently because she was so passionate about them. It made me want to be passionate, even if it sucked.
No, but it was good.
I know, but if it did suck,
The red wine.
That red, oh.
And then we found out it was $50 or $40. Makes sense.
I should message Katie and tell her to be like, that red wine had legs. For days.
And by days we mean like the hour and a half that it lasted.
It didn't last very long. It was great.
Is he vaping now? Bro, lay off the smoking.
Oh, he's allowed to because he's in a polo shirt.
No, I get it.
Fairly confident that's not how that
I
works.
need to get my earrings back.
Ideally, he sit on both sides. Glasses as far as Cassadell Hatch is concerned. This is a 2016 Screaming Frenzy Meritage, also known as Dino Juice. And Screaming Frenzy is the evolution of the concept or idea that the Hatch, everything that is the Hatch was born out of a concept called Black Swift Vineyards. It's all driven by our love affair with this bird that is the Black Swift. The Black Swift is a bird native to BC, and it's a rare bird. We're a rare bird, and it's also a very high-flying bird, which realistically is British Columbia. Everybody's a high-flying bird in some semblance of things. And we also felt the whole high-flying bird thing tied into the aspirational sense of winemaking, like we strive for the best expression of the vineyards and the fruit. And it's also one of the only birds in the world that lays only a single egg clutch, or just one egg every year.
Really?
And we felt that singular egg notion was symbiotic or reflective in a sense of the whole single vineyard thing. Like the vineyards that we work with hatch an individual bottle baby. The Black Swift hatches an individual bird baby. And this is it's a rugged powerhouse from the Similkameen. So this comes from Jaggerock Vineyard, which is again Similkameen Valley, much more southern site. On average, you're looking at a pretty intensely different temperature influx between here and there. Like on average, you can be looking at anywhere between 2 to 7 degrees Celsius. Allows for more weight, more body, more guts, and it's built for carnivorous intention. When you want to wave your Flintstone flag, throw down with any prolific prehistoric scales of protein, or if you're veggie, I don't know, fungi are all right, and that can be interpreted broadly as desired.
So that's what I want my other steak the other night.
Absolutely, and it's got a cigar smoking dinosaur on the label. So like really,
There you go.
what more do you need?
Everything I wanted at a layer.
And the dinosaur is kind of an ode to the fact that we felt
Oh wow, that's
some branding,
lovely.
positioning was archaic or dinosaur-like, and we really wanted to kind of try and push the boundaries and step outside of traditionalism in an overarching sense. And,
Now, what would something like this be, like cost-wise?
oh, this goes $29.99. I'll send it. So really good price point, and also that's the advantage of working with these more southern vineyards is you don't have to crop the vineyard as low to get the structure or intensity of the wine. It's
Really nice. What do you think of this wine? Yeah.
that is the Dino Juice.
And it pairs well with our spicy guac chips that
Totally.
someone just gave us.
And I got one more thing for you.
Perfect.
Thank you. No, legitimately, like I think it's working with the spicy guac.
Perfect. Perfect.
I think I've had this one a few times. I think we've even but this one I think they have this one at Superstore. I think it's on the Superstore. You get talking stories at a Superstore, which is made by Hatch, but it isn't one I don't think that they sell at their wine shop. It's made. It's like made for like. It's really good.
With the blackberry, lavender, and anise. I guess that's like star anise, while delivering big chewy flavors, ripe tannins, and velvety mouthfeel.
I loved it. I watched both.
Ooh, peck on a range of hard cheeses or grilled non-avian meats with this wine. 14.6%. You did good. You did good. That's great.
Rally round, we will finish where we started. So as I mentioned, everything that is a Hatch was born out of this boozy love affair with this bird that is a black swift, and its propensity for being this bird that lays only a single egg clutch, and that being symbiotic or reflective in a sense of the whole single vineyard deal. So everything started with black swift, but the intention with these wines are high-end wines, small production volumes, more so built for your cellar, and progress and evolution over time. So as a young company, to only be black swift, like as a standalone concept, would have been counterintuitive, right? Like, hi, welcome, buy our wine, just trust us, it'll be great in 5 years. And without any proof or pedigree that the wines have that ability, that doesn't fly necessarily, no pun intended, although kind of intended. We love birds and bird-based humor, apparently. So Black Swift is the individual bird, and then a flock of them is called a screaming frenzy. So those two brands are kind of organically born in and unto each other. But the whole idea is that Black Swift would always be a standalone, and we're finally at the point where that's happening. So this whole idea of the Hatch being this launching point for these different ideas and concepts, we're 4 years in and we finally achieved it. So Black Swift, we've started building a production facility and planted a vineyard, and we'll have a tasting room further up the road on Mount Boucherie. So Black Swift and Screaming Frenzy brands will go and live there. The Hatch will stay the ever irreverent love shack that it is, and just continually create new madness and ingenuity fueled by grapes and wine, I suppose. And then yeah, we'll just continue to create and break off. And Crown and Thieves also is getting another physical location deeper in the West Bay. So it's happened. The singular egg has cracked, and now the Hatch has hatched and done what we always said it was going to do. Now this Tom Jones sex bomb, a red wine, is seductive and animalistic intention and weight and guts and body. This is the 2014 Black Swift Monarch Vineyard Syrah. So Monarch Vineyards is in a Soyuz. 2014 is a pretty iconic vintage. It was the early spring, it was hot the whole time, allows for a gorgeous level of ripeness, both on a fruit-driven end of the spectrum, but also like physical phenolic ripeness, like the physical characteristics that'll hold a wine like this together over a series of years, making this an undeniable cellar candidate if you were born with the ability to express the incredible virtue that is patience. I know I certainly wasn't, but if you were, best of luck, this will reward you down the line. And 16 months in American oak, in this case 1/3 new, 2/3 older, so you got the power and weight from Syrah that it can withstand. A pretty good oak program. And my favorite thing about Syrah is it's very multifaceted. Like, it can be dark and rugged, but it can be nuanced and pretty. Usually it is one or the other, not both. This is both brooding as much as it is a hedonistic, pleasure-driven machine. You can drink it in 10 years or drink it in 10 minutes. And that is the seductive beast that is a Monarch Syrah, and an adventure through some wines that we made and some things that I said to you.
Cool. Which is documented forever.
Cheers.
Thank you. This is amazing.
Well, it's not your everyday juice on price point. Clocks in a little over 60 bucks, so maybe not a Tuesday wine unless that's your Tuesday juice, in which case, well done, use a bala.
If that's your Tuesday, someone invite me, please.
Yeah, that's what that's my thing too. Is like, and also, if you're drinking this already, give me a call. I'm not good at a lot of shit, but I'm real good at drinking wine. Basically an Olympic level athlete.
Congratulations. This is fantastic.
Okay. So from the Cyclops, this is the
So good on every level.
It's really good.
Picking up on those cherries. Maybe a little bit of raspberries and currant.
It's funny because I can't tell raspberry. You're like,
that's how you do it.
and cherries. Some of those raspberries.
It smells buttery too.
I think it's thinking about butter.
I think I have been thinking about butter.
I think I like the smell better than the taste. Is that weird?
It's like a bit acidic. It's not as smooth as the kitchen one we had. The kitchen one was amazing.
But I do like it. Ooh, look at those legs. Ooh.
Oh, she got fun legs. She looking good. Oh my god, when did you stop filming?
When did you stop filming?
Yeah. Oh my god, that was good. That was a good tasting. I wish the tastings though were like half a glass so you could get like a seriously good buzz on before you leave.